Stow your gear, take a knee, and listen up. It's time for mail call. This is Mail Call, the show where you set the plan of attack. And here's how it works. You email me questions about military technology, and I answer them. Now, we got a lot of emails to get through, so let's keep up. Jack in Monrovia, California wants to know, how do you drive a tank? Now, Jack, you better listen up, because I'm only going to do this one time. I hooked up with Craig Michelson, curator of the American Society of Military History Museum, and he said he was going to teach me how to drive this tank.
This is an M5A1 Stewart. It was produced from 1942 to 1945. This was produced by Cadillac. This is a Cadillac of little tanks.
Craig gave me the standard dog and pony show and told me everything I needed to know about this fighting relic.
This is a four-man crew. You have a driver, you have an assistant driver, you have a commander, and you have a gunner.
I see. Okay, and the person that wrote in wanted to know how it was operated, how it was driven. So let's get after that.
I'll go through every step, and I'll make you into a tank driver.
Let's get my coveralls on,
right,
then go. Okay, I'm ready to rock and roll here, Craig. Here we go. All right. Now, Craig, before I slip down into the cockpit of this weapon, why don't you explain a few things to me so that I'm not a hazard to the neighborhood?
Basically, a tank is like a big bulldozer. You're controlling the tracks to turn. These two levers on the two sides, they control the tracks. By stopping one of the tracks, that will cause you to turn.
All tanks use the same basic principle. When both tracks are turning the same speed, the tank goes in a straight line. But when you pull the brake and slow or stop one of the tracks, the tank will turn in that particular direction. Okay, well, without further ado, let's get in this monster and cruise the neighborhood. Well, I'll tell you what, this is exciting. Just kind of put this piece of machinery on like a pair of pantyhose, don't you?
Well, I don't wear pantyhose, but I guess so.
The Stewart gets its zip from two Cadillac V8 engines. It also has a handy automatic transmission. And best of all, it has dual driving controls. A set for Craig and a set for me, which makes this a perfect tank for driver's ed. Weighing in at just under 15 tons, the M5 might look puny. But when it came out back in 1942, this tank was state-of-the-art. It saw action with the Army in North Africa and Europe, and with the United States Marines fighting in the Pacific. Craig told me that with a top speed of 40 miles an hour, the M5 was considered fast and maneuverable. So, I put the pedal to the metal to find out just what he meant by that. All right, maybe a quick review is in order. I pull on the right brake and the tank turns right. I pull on the left brake and the tank turns left. To stop altogether, I pull back on both levers at the same time. But I have no intention of doing that. Damn it, I'm gonna have to take a bath again tonight. Now that I got that out of my system, Craig laid out a little test for my new skills.
We have a little obstacle course set up for you. We have a bunch of watermelons out in the field, and you think you can take this vehicle right through them puppies?
Piece of cake. I believe I qualified expert. Modern day tanks are bigger, heavier, and they certainly deliver a heck of a lot more firepower. Believe it or not, they're still driven basically the same as they were back in World War II. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
We're not talking about an urge to eat donuts. We're talking about an urge for corpses.
They were crimes that shocked the world.
I can't say I regret it, honestly. It's just something that happened.
Meet history's most infamous killers.
If I started murdering people,
And find out how they became so evil.
there'd be none of you left.
Infamous murders, next on the History Channel.
The ultimate betrayal of marital vows.
In the well-heeled suburbs of Sydney, the wife of millionaire businessman Andrew Kalasic was shot dead as he slept beside her.
The circumstances that were obvious were quite bizarre.
A mother and a 19-month-old daughter disappeared without a trace.
If they could just come forward and, even if you don't ring me, just the media or police or her family.
The coastal town of Mornington, Victoria, was shocked by the awful truth.
Even the most case-hardened police officers aren't prepared for what John Miles Sharp tells them next.
It was cold, it was chilling, and something I hope I never have to go through again.
Crime Investigation Australia, Contract to Kill. The Mornington Monster. Premieres Thursdays, 7:30, only on the Crime and Investigation Network.
Oui. Ça fait longtemps que tu l'avais pas vu.